time of year, guys. Is that time that we want to get started on making our Christmas candy and our Christmas cookies. And I want to start out today by making, um, they're called Samoa Truffles. And if y'all remember Girl Scout cookies, the Samoas, and they were one of our favorites. It's the ones with the coconut and the caramel and the chocolate, and it's always been a big favorite in my family. Well, now there's a recipe for Samoa Truffles, and I thought that'd be a good candy to start out with to put in our list of candies to make and give out at Christmas time, or just to have on our table when we're having get-togethers. It's something different. You know, we all love our regular peanut butter balls and all them favorites like that we always usually make about this time of year. But sometimes I like to throw stuff in there that's a little bit different that not everybody makes. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is making some Samoa truffles. And I think you're really going to like them. To make this, it doesn't take very many ingredients. And a lot of these ingredients you probably already have in your pantry. And one of them ingredients, and I know I'm not going to pronounce this right, but you find this over in where your Mexican, your Spanish, all your Mexican ingredients and stuff are. And this is dulce de leche. And I know I did not say that right. I hacked it up pretty bad. But what it is, it's sweet of milk, and it's caramel. That's what this is. This is a milk-based caramel. And you can also do this. You can take your sweetened condensed milk and make your own. But I always keep several cans of this in my pantry just for stuff like this, because I don't always have time to make my own caramel. But this stuff's delicious. And this is what the recipe calls for. It's thick, it's gooey, and it's what's going to hold all this, the gooiness and all the good stuff together to make your truffles. The recipe calls for a 14-ounce can. Well, they kind of dupe you on that one, like they do a lot of things. This is a 13.4, and that's what they are. Now, your sweetened condensed milk is 14 ounces. So you're going to need 13.4 ounces of this. I'm not going to try to say it again. I know y'all can say it a lot better than I can. I don't want to hack it up too bad. And then you need 14 ounces of your evaporated milk. So you're going to need about 7 ounces of sweetened flaked coconut. And what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to stick this in the oven, and I want to just kind of, you know, bake it till it's just a little bit golden brown. Just put a little bit brown on it. That really intensifies the taste of this coconut. Plus, you know, your Samoa cookies, that's toasted coconut in there too. So that's what we want to do with this. And then I've got 16 ounces of chocolate chips. Now, the recipe calls for dark chocolate. Nobody in my family likes dark chocolate but me. So what I'm using is a mixture. I'm wanting to use some bags up that were open. I've got a mixture of milk chocolate and a mixture of semi-sweet. It doesn't matter. It's all going to be good. And then one of your main ingredients is a whole box, 11-ounce box of Nilla Wafers. And you crush them up. You can do it in your food processor, or just do like I did. I just used my rolling pin and just crushed them up good. And anything that's got a Nilla wafer in it, it's got to be delicious. Because I can tell you, these are the best little cookies you ever eat. And I saved one so I could eat it. Okay, let's take our 7 ounces of coconut. And this is just a dry sheet pan. I didn't spray it or nothing. And I'm just going to spread all this coconut out pretty thin on my pan. And I'm going to put it in my 350 oven. And I'm going to keep an eye on it. And I'm going to get me a little spatula and just kind of move it around, stir it till it gets to just a little bit of a golden brown, and then I'll take it out. And it just gives it that much more flavor. So don't just put it in there and walk away. Come back to it and kind of stir it around a little bit. It won't take very long for it to toast. So in my 350 oven, it took less than 10 minutes for this coconut to brown up. That's why I tell you to keep an eye on it, because you can burn it up real quick and then you just got a runt product. So just keep an eye on it really good. And you see how it's golden brown. The kitchen's smelling really good with that toasted coconut. So I'm going to take this and I'm going to pour it in my big bowl. That was 7 ounces of sweetened flaked coconut that we put in a 350 oven and toasted. And of course the recipe says 10 to 15 minutes, and it took less than 10 minutes in my oven. So we got our coconut in here. Now we're going to take our caramel. And this stuff is so thick. Don't get the kind that's in a squirt bottle or anything that's any different, this, because it's not going to be thick enough and it's not going to set up as good. It really specifies to make sure that this is what you're using, the really thick milk-based caramel. And like I said, you can make it yourself, but that's just whatever you want to do. So we got that in there. I got a fly wanting some of my caramel. Now we got our sweetened condensed milk, 14-ounce can. And yes, this has a lot of sugar in it. But you know what? We're only going to make this probably once a year. I won't be eating this every day of my life. And it's just going to be a really good candy recipe to put in with your all your other candies that you make every year for Christmas for gifts. I'm just going to stir this up a little bit because I got to add my crushed up cookies too. And it's already all coming together pretty good. Y'all can see I'm sporting my work shirt here. I wear scrub shirts to work, and they're just so comfortable. I'd rather wear this than anything to work. They have pockets, so I can keep everything that I've got to have with me. It's always in my pockets. And then I think the material is a polyester spandex or something, but it's real lightweight material, and it just gives with me because I do a lot of bending up and down, and I just love wearing them. And I usually find these scrub shirts on sale, usually at Walmart or at consignment shops or something like that. So you can see it's taken on a caramel color, a good consistency. But now we're going to put our binder in, and that's our 11-ounce box of Nilla Wafers. Ooh, that smells good. I tell y'all, one of my favorite cookies is a Nilla wafer. Always has been. And we're just going to stir that up good. And just keep stirring till you get it, all those cookie crumbs, good and combined in there. Not combined, but combined. And it's going to be thick, like a thick cookie dough. You know, this is one of Danny's, Mr. Brown's favorite cookies is the Samoas. And I remember buying them, of course, from the Girl Scouts, but you can get them at Walmart. I usually buy the off-brand. They're just as good. I'm going to take just a little bit, taste it. Yeah. That is what it tastes like. Okay. So that's good and stirred up. It's good and it's a good thick consistency to start with. So now we're going to start making our little balls to put out on our parchment paper. And then we're going to stick that out in the freezer. Shouldn't take but maybe 30 minutes. And then we'll start dipping it in our chocolate. So what you're wanting to do is just make about a tablespoonful of your filling there. Now don't mistake this for cookies. This is not cookies. This is a Samoa truffle. You're not going to be cooking this. It's not a cookie. But we will be putting them in the freezer to firm them up because we're going to dip the very bottom in chocolate. Because if you've ever ate a Samoa cookie, the bottom is dipped in chocolate. And I may just have to eat that one. But there we go. 4, 8, 12, 16, 24, 28, 32. It made about 50, so that's pretty good. You can double and triple this recipe too. So let me get these out in the freezer. They're just going to be in there for about 30 minutes, and then we'll bring them in. And I'm just going to take my chocolate, whatever you decide to use for your dipping chocolate, and I'm going to put it in the microwave, just about 30 seconds at a time, and I'll stir it until I get it melted good, and then we'll start dipping them. This right here is a little gadget that one of my subscriber friends sent me, and it's made to where you can take your candy and you set it on there and you just dip it in the chocolate. And it's going to work really good with this today because I only want to dip the very bottom of these truffles. Okay, I found that it's just a little bit easier with these if I just, because they're frozen, you know, I had them in the freezer for about 30 minutes. They're good and set up. And I can just take them and just kind of dip the bottom in the chocolate because that's all that I'm wanting is just a little bit of chocolate on the bottom. Because just like your Samoa cookies, they have a layer of chocolate just on the bottom like that. Now, when I get all these done, I'll come back and then I'm going to take me a little baggie, freezer baggie, and I'm going to make me a piping bag. And then I'm going to pipe a little bit of chocolate on top. And you're going to see that it's going to look just like a Samoa cookie. But it's not a cookie. It's candy. It's a Samoa truffle. So I've got all these done with chocolate on the bottom. And now we're going to switch over to putting our chocolate into our piping bag. Okay, so we got this batch with the chocolate over the top. You don't want it just, I mean, you could cover the whole thing with chocolate if you wanted to. But if you want it to look like your Samoa cookies, it just has a little drizzle of chocolate on top. This is going to go back in the freezer for just a little while. Let it sit up good. Then you can put it in an airtight container, put it in your refrigerator for up to 2 weeks, or you can put it in your freezer up to about 3 months. It'll stay good. We made 50 of these little Samoa truffles. So that's quite a bit to either share, put on your table, or if you want to double or triple it, to put in your little candy boxes that you're giving out for gifts. This is a really good candy. And it's something different. It's easy to make. You've seen it didn't take long to throw it together. And there's no cooking except for melting your chocolate. So it's about that easy. So y'all try the Samoa truffles. I think y'all really going to like them. And they'll look pretty in your candy box too. So I hope y'all enjoyed this recipe, enjoyed this video. There's going to be more candy making, so y'all come back and see me. And I'll be back in a couple days with another candy recipe. And then I think from there I'll probably go do maybe a cookie or two recipe, and maybe some bread or something like that. Not sure yet, but just whatever wild hair gets me, y'all. That's what I'll usually do. Sometimes I'll write me a list down and really plan stuff, and then I go way off my list and don't even. But anyways, y'all try this because I think you're really going to like them. God bless everybody. We'll see you in a couple days.